Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be going over my first round game from the 2024 Midwest Open. If you haven't heard of the Midwest Open, I believe this year was the fourth iteration of it. And in the past I had been to two of the other three. In this iteration of the tournament was held at a mansion, and it was called the Baduk Manor. And it sounds exactly what it might sound like. We come in, and what you see is basically a house transformed into a Go tournament. Studies turned into playing rooms, bedrooms turned into review rooms, the whole upstairs on the third floor ballroom turned into a large playing hall. So it's quite a unique tournament in itself, just based on that. So it was a super fun event. In this tournament, I was playing in the Masters, which was a separate bracket from the main tournament that was only for, I believe, 4 Dan and up players. And yeah, I believe there was 12 of us in the tournament. Yeah, there was 12 of us in the tournament. So yeah, in the first round, I got paired with Albert Yen, which if you don't know Albert Yen, he is, at this point or before this tournament, the 2-time Midwest Open champion, and he had only been to 2 of them. So he's a 8 Dan, very strong player. Somebody who I actually became quite good friends with at last year's Go Congress. So it's nice to finally be able to play a game. And like before this, I don't even think we had played like a casual game. So this is like our first game ever, I believe, unless we've randomly played online. So yeah, obviously though, 8 Dan versus at this tournament I was actually 5 Dan. So a rough first draw, but when you're in the upper bracket, you can't really complain about who you have to play. So my goal for this tournament, obviously, be nice to win. But for this tournament, I was just trying to play good Go, games that I was happy with. And if I was able to do that, I would have been happy with the weekend. So let's see what happened in the first round game. And it's important to note that in this tournament, it's a 5-round tournament for the Masters. The time settings are 20-minute main time with 20-second fissure, which if you don't know what that is, if you're used to Byo-Yomi or other time settings, all it means is when you play a move, you get 20 seconds added to your clock. So you basically get 20 minutes absolute time, but every time you play a move, you get 20 seconds. So that was the time settings that we were using. So yes, I got white. And yeah, it's important to note also AGA rules. So I get 7.5 Komi, but white must pass last if you've never played in or have heard of AGA scoring. But okay, let's get right into it. In the opening, of course, there are so many good enough moves that really can't say much. Like, could black have a fixed in the upper left? Of course. Could black have approached the bottom? Of course. Like, really, at this early on, it's about basically sticking with moves you're comfortable with. And yeah, if you stay on Joseki branches, it basically can't be too bad. And so especially in a tournament when time management is key, sticking to things that are Josekis and sticking to things that are textbook can't go wrong. Now here was the first time I had a choice. In the game I selected to kick, but my other option I wanted was to jump here. This move works really nicely to build the right side while also attacking the upper right. But I'll be 100% honest, this Joseki here, in this case for white, so whenever I play as white in this sort of Joseki, I always seem to forget a move or mess something up, and there's always seems to be problems with pushes and cuts, with this attachment. Like, something always seems to go badly whenever I play this. So this was me again, trying to simplify the board state. Like, sure, I get gote, but now I know this cut will never be a problem, or almost never be a problem at N18. And yeah, so it's more of a comfort move than anything else. I think maybe if it was a faster game or not a tournament, I would play this and confidently be like, I know what I'm doing with the upper right. But in the game, I decided to just take the corner, fix my cuts here. It does end in gote, but to be fair, so does this move. But maybe this move, black would need a response. But in this game, black just hanes and ataris and then goes elsewhere. And then I even clamp, which I talked to this game, or I talked about this game after with Albert. And he gave some very nice, insightful commentary and tips. And he's basically saying, like, every move you add, black's less likely going to answer. And of course that's true, right? Like, black's not going to try to save it now because I'm already investing more and more stones. So every stone I add, I'm basically taking away points. So yeah, he said here should at least be the push here. This would be more forceful, although not completely forceful. Like, and if black were to come out somehow, then some approach to the upper left would feel very natural. But he said this is a little too slow. But again, it was more of a comfort play of, in the future, there is potential for some sort of invasions here. And if I already have this stone on the board at R14, I don't need to worry so much about this group or the stone at R12. So that was my thinking. So black ignores. And so I do finally ignore. Because again, if I add a stone, it would be like this. If I start with N16 and black was elsewhere, I wouldn't then come back and do R14. I could play a move, something like this. Try to surround it on a large scale. So I approach, and then jump. And then my next move might look a little strange. But the basic idea of it is, I kind of view the bottom as black's moyo, and the right as my moyo. And so it was kind of the spot that both sides want to play. So that's why I viewed it as a good spot. And the idea is if black goes elsewhere, I'm looking to attach here. That's my idea. Now, this move is more standard. And if I want Sente, I should probably do this. But I didn't like how solid black got on the bottom. And yeah, I didn't like how solid black got on the bottom. So that's why I wanted to keep some AGA alive there. Albert was saying, though, it's totally fine if you just extend along the side. Because he's saying even if he jumps here, this exchange, white's right side is more solid than black's bottom side. And black's bottom side still has a lot of AGA with E2 invasions. Let's say if black goes elsewhere. E2 invasions, H3. So this area is actually quite wide, but it's not super big either. Because if black has to spend a move like this to surround it, then the exchange for N5 for Q8 favors white. So, yeah. So he's saying it's a little strange. Yeah. But again, even though some of my moves are slow and maybe a little strange, the game's still, for the most part, even. And it's, again, if you just stick to moves that you're just sticking to some proverbs that you know, some fundamentals, it can't be bad. So you can see, like, none of white shapes are bad. White's taking care of groups. That can't be bad. Black finally pushes. And now the thing with black pushing is now black has added a stone. Now black is heavier. So now black's going to save this group. Yep, play there. And then cut. And here again, he was saying, like, sure, yes. Like, after black pushes at N16, white can't cut. But that should not be a worry if this kind of move is Sente and you can still attack the whole group. So again, he's saying, like, this is way too slow. Just keep extending up top. Or again, just fix the left side. But I cut. Black hanes. double hane. And the next move might be surprising, because a lot of players would be like, okay, well, I have a cut here I need to fix. But the thing you have to realize about this cut is that it forces black to fix. Now black has no weaknesses. But in some cases, I might want to cut here and do this, or cut here and do this. I'm not sure which one I want to do yet. And you might be thinking, well, if you go elsewhere, can't black fix? Like if I do something like this, can't black fix by cutting? Actually not. Because even if I Atari and black takes, I can still cut here. So this still leaves the AGA of this cut. Where again, if I fix, the moment I fix, black can fix this weakness. And the gain I get up top is not big at all. It's not big at all. So yeah, treating the stone at L18 lightly. And so the idea with this move is, okay, I don't know if I want to do this or this. So I'm going to ask black first. And Albert said like this move was very good timing. And yeah, I agree. Because if I do anything here first, well, now black's going to play differently. But while there's these problems that black has to consider, black has to play differently. Black might have to back off a little bit. And we'll see that in the game a little bit as well. Yes. And just really quickly, you might be thinking, well, because this was a variation I was considering a little bit. What if black pushes through? Well, black pushes through because I'm already solid on the right side. I viewed this as, okay, yes, it is big on points, but maybe now I can break up the top. Right? Like, is black really going to cut here and go to? I'm not so sure. So that's, and maybe directly it's not the best choice, but that's why I chose to play here first. See how black plays. Maybe depending on black plays, I can switch directions like that. And so, for example, if black pulls back, now I will cut, jump, and this exchange is probably a good exchange for me. Again, let's say I start with this, and let's say black even gives up the 5 stones. Well, now if I attach, black's going to do something different. But it'd be like as if black just pulled back like this, which of course would give me a lot of freedom in how I can use the stone, whether immediately or later. So that's the whole idea with this attachment, and the timing of it. So because of that, black hanes, cuts, or hane, cuts, Atari. And by itself, this is normal variation. And usually black Atari's here. But Albert's probably thinking, well, on this board, I don't really have any threats. Because again, I played very solidly in the opening. I don't have really anything to attack. And it's quite a big ko, because even if, let's say, like this is not a good threat. But let's say black hanes or something. Well, now if I connect and black continues the ko, or continues with his ko threat, then I can cut here. And you can see, because I've preserved the AGA here, black might have some big danger up top. So yeah, that's why when I Atari, black actually fixes here. So that's why it's really good timing not to just connect. I was able to start this ko, but black didn't even Atari like black usually does. So then I take, and then black connects. And so this move, yes, it is a ko threat, but it does lose a lot of points. Yes, so play there and then attach. And so here, the tricky thing with this ko for both sides is neither side really wants to fill, if that makes sense. Like, let's say I play a ko threat, right? Like this one, and then take. I don't really want to fill here. Like I'd rather do something a little more active like this or this, right? And it's the same sort of thing for black. Black doesn't necessarily want to just connect here, because even later I can just take, or if black makes the ko bigger, again, black has to find a threat. So even though we have this ko going on, it's kind of hard for either side to win it. So that's why black goes elsewhere. I take, black stands up. And here, this is probably just okay and just extend. But in the game, I start the ko, because I was like, there's definitely a threat. I know he'll answer. I play e4. Take a guess at what ko threat black ignores. Black does not answer. And during the game, I was like very happy with this result. But Albert was saying he was very happy as black because d18 is wasted and the whole upper left is black's. So yeah, but I felt okay here. Like I'm splitting up the lower left and the bottom. Yeah, and according to an AI, it is relatively even still. Now, interestingly, he was saying he would answer this threat though. He would, because if he doesn't, well then I'm actually not only capturing this corner for the most part, but also isolating these two stones. So he was saying he would answer this, like so. But if I take, we were looking at, well, what if black hanes? Or if black hanes, white takes, even white connects, black connects, like it's still not terrible for black, even though white captured at e18. But definitely this is a better co-threat than my threat. I was just so certain that he was going to answer this. But of course, if I know he has no threats, then he probably will not answer. So yeah, but again, during the game, I felt okay here. And then hane. The idea with the hane is it forces me to play this move, which hurts the two center stones. But he was saying like that actually helped me in the corner, that I should just turn here. Which, yeah, that makes sense. I was being a little too fancy here. A little too fancy here. Here as well, now's the timing to play this Atari, because I'm threatening to squeeze this stone on the side. So for example, if black just takes, then I can Atari and I connect. And black still has some issues with, well, black has no issues living, but if black tries to surround me, this move basically becomes sente. And whether black does this one's probably better. And then I can go here. Or play some move like this. Basically, I can get an eye in sente by playing at c4. So this move not only weakens the corner, but also helps my right side, or my stones here, the three stones here. And again, black can't Atari down because this forces the Atari, and then I can still cut here. And again, it's very similar, where I can be very comfortable after this kind of move. Where even in this case, yeah, black's now not even alive after I live. So yeah, I definitely need, this was the key spot. And I think this would be a much different game if I got this spot. But in the game, I just jump. Black connects. And again, here, I definitely need to go here. Black cannot come down and split me, because after this, black has a weakness here, has to fix. But then I can cut. And yeah, this is very painful for black. So yeah. So I Atari'd, I assume, okay, well, black goes there, then I can Atari. But of course, you know, black goes, black takes the key spots by descending. And the nice thing about this for black is black doesn't need to fix by going here. Black can fix by playing this one. So black does. So I play here. This is just an ASCII move. See how black's going to play. So black goes there. And then I jump or diagonal out. So I got, the main goal for this was to isolate the outside stones, my co-threat. So like I'm still feeling okay with this result. Black jumps, so I extend. Black jumps in the center. And I thought there was a chance black might just let me take the 3 and really expand on a large scale into upper left. But they are cutting stones, so it does make sense for black to do it. But now black has to worry about these center stones. So I shoulder hit, black jumps. And then, yeah, this move isn't the worst move ever because it starts to create some potential cuts here in black shape. And that was kind of my idea. while the left side is weaker, and I should definitely prioritize the left side, this move felt a little painful towards my bottom group. Like, my thinking is, do I really need to answer this? And looking at it, I don't think I do, because I can connect or live still. So, like, if black does go here, I'll just, you know, go elsewhere. But this, in the center, just thinking about the center, this felt like really good shape for black. So I didn't want to see that. So that's why I went here. But black plays here, and then black cuts, which is a very minor mistake. It's not the end of the world. But I was actually worried about black cutting the knight's move. As soon as I played my move, I was like, oh, wait, he's going to cut the knight's move. And it's very similar to this move. The difference is I get an extra move. So, for example, like this, black can hane here, is the idea. And if I cut, black connects, and there's a cut here that I need to worry about. And now my 3 stones are cut off, so it's quite dangerous. If I do the other way, like this, even if I can squeeze here, it's this very similar. I have 2 cuts here. So if I do this, black can cut, and here, black can cut. So, yeah. So very minor mistake, though. But it does make me much stronger in the center. And then black goes here, and I really wonder if it's good enough just to separate in the center, something like this. Like, for black to have to capture here, like, black can't even go this way, because after this, feels like too many weaknesses, right? Or maybe that's why white has to start with here. Like this. Here. Yeah, black has too many weaknesses. Descend, cut, like, black has too many problems, I think. Now, maybe, if this... It's a question of, is this sente? And if it is, let's see. Wedge, go here, take. Like, black has to descend, but then when I block here, black needs to turn, and then black runs out of liberties, like this. And so the only way for black to capture the 4 stones is to go the other way. Like this. But not that that's tiny, per se, but it would give me initiative in the center, which I don't think is too bad. So I wonder if there's a case of just blocking here and not answering this bamboo joint connection. And the game I do, and when black blocks, you can see my left side is still weak. Yes. And Albert said this move is ever so slightly better because the center is what's important. So this move, connecting solidly, has more effect on the center as opposed to my move. But this is a very minor detail. Black blocks, place here, and yeah, this was my chance to stay in the game. If I peep and play here, this is still a okay game. This is still an okay game. Black hanes, extend, black fixes, something like this, and then I can extend here. And this is still playable for both sides. But yeah, it was weird of me to... Basically, my thinking here is, oh, black's weak on the left. Black has to answer. But that's just not true. And I should really be looking at the center, because this center is what's weak. Yeah, I need to do something against the center, because this group is the actual weak group. Because, of course, black doesn't have time to Atari here when the whole center is dying. So, yeah, I definitely needed to do some peep, and then like this. Black still needs to deal with the center stones even. So, yeah, this would be playable. But when I just extend, black plays here, which once black played this, I was like, oh, that's a big problem. And if you don't see it yet, you'll see it in a second, where if I do something else, black can throw in, and then Atari here. And this is threatening either I take and black cuts, which is obviously great for black, or I connect and I have to make the first co-threat, which, if you look at this board, there is none. So, yes. This was white's last chance. Or not even last chance, because that's like... That makes it sound like white never was in this game. Like, this was White's last chance to win. When really it was a pretty close game throughout. There was just one mistake. Just one mistake. Yeah, and even after the game, we were looking at moves like this and cutting. And even this would be possible, because White does have this ladder to these 3 stones here. So if Black does something like this, maybe White pushes. If something like this were to happen, like, again, I'm solid on the bottom, and even if I add a stone, like, Black's still weak and I can cut the 2. Something like this. But basically, I needed to do something, whether it was this peep and attach or wedge and cut. It needed to be something. When Black was able to fix that in Sente by blocking, that's a huge difference. Plus, even if I fix, Black has potential eye here. So Black's even stronger in this sense, that Black can make an eye in Gote now. So yeah, so peep. So it even gets worse. So my idea is, okay, well, I can't just do this because then I'm going to get attacked in the center. So I kind of have to fight this Ko. But my thinking is, okay, maybe I can make more Ko threats by going here. When Black answers, then I will do something else. And now I have created Ko threats for Black to have to answer. What is the thinking? Here's the problem with that thinking. The best, after I go here, the best I can get is Seki. So I can't even kill this corner with this move. So this was basically a pass. And yeah, that is quite bad in the middle of a ginormous fight going on. So yeah, this was just a misread. I just assumed or misread, or I'm not sure. Just I misread this corner, and so Black just starts the Ko. And okay, so I do get what I wanted. I got Ko threats, okay. But the problem is every move that Black plays in the center is a Ko threat to surround my whole group. So like, okay, descend, that's a Ko threat. Take, Black can extend up, saying, okay, even if you fix, you're just surrounded anyways. So I can't connect the Ko. I go here, and then as you can see, I'm just surrounded. I have this Ko that I can never fill. And yeah, I just resign here. Yeah, just one move I miss. If I just play something different here, completely different game. But you just miss one move, and it spells disaster. So, yeah. So while the final few moves here, specifically this one, but even more so this one, B2, were not great. Overall, I was very happy with how I played in this game. And so my goal of playing games that I was pleased with, I was actually quite pleased with this game. Because I felt I was, at least for a while, hanging in there, which again, with somebody so strong, I was very happy with. So yeah, I was very, very happy with this game. Despite the loss, I was taking it, at least I think I was taking it pretty well. So I was quite pleased with this game. But yeah, the end result of the game was White resigned here, I resigned here, and Albert won. So yeah, that was my first round game of the 2024 Midwest Open. Starting out with a loss, but again, happy with how I played, so I wasn't even that upset about it. So yeah, if you have any questions about this game, please let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to read it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching.